I pray for an India, my friends, which puts the constitution and constitutionalism above vigilantism, where the rule of law applies to every Indian citizen, irrespective of which part of the country or which community they belong to. I pray, my friends, for an India where environmental protection is the mantra for every government.
Views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any.
Namaskar and a happy new year to each and every one of you. Hello and welcome to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Rabindranath Tagore in 1913. Well, more than a century after Tagore wrote his immortal lines, it is perhaps time to revisit the great poet's vision of a new and awakened India. Inspired by the Nobel laureate, here is a prayer for India in 2026. Listen carefully, my friends. I pray for an India which doesn't look at the present and the future through a rear view mirror, where our MPs don't spend hours debating who cut which stanza from the Vande Mataram and why in the 1930s, or what Jawaharlal Nehru did or didn't do when he became India's first Prime Minister, or what atrocities Aurangzeb committed in the 17th century. Instead, I hope to have our MPs and indeed our government focus on what is our present leadership doing to build a better India for tomorrow. I pray for an India where votes are not garnered by appealing to narrow caste and religious divisions, but on real issues of governance, where it really shouldn't matter which temple existed under which mosque or church in which century, where history is not reduced to another WhatsApp university course, where the focus shouldn't be on building more places of worship, but instead of how many quality schools and hospitals are being built across the country. I pray for an India where groups like the Bajrang Dal, who are seen vandalizing Christmas events, assaulting Muslims at a birthday party under the guise of love jihad, are given exemplary punishment. And if they still don't fall in line, these self-styled Hindu Rakshak groups must be banned, as must any group from any community that engages in religious extremism or violence, not just through well-spun words, but with concrete action. I pray for an India, my friends, which puts the constitution and constitutionalism above vigilantism, where the rule of law applies to every Indian citizen, irrespective of which part of the country or which community they belong to, where you don't deport someone and call them Bangladeshi only because they speak Bengali, where words like Ghuspetia or infiltrators don't become a political bogey, where hate isn't normalized in a manner that the othering of communities leads gradually to their social exclusion, ghettoization, and targeting. I pray, my friends, for an India where environmental protection is the mantra for every government, where chief ministers realize the importance of an air quality index, AQI, and strive to work together to ensure that citizens can have a right to breathe clean air, where precious ecologically sensitive areas, be it on the coastline or in the mountains, don't get destroyed by rampant mining and greedy real estate mafias, where climate change is not an issue only to be debated in air-conditioned seminar rooms, but must begin to translate into action on the ground again. I pray, my friends, for an India where political parties don't end up as family proprietary firms, where there is genuine inner party democracy and dissent is not seen as a rebellion, where we don't end up as an elected autocracy, where a washing machine doesn't become associated with shifting political loyalties for anyone seeking protection from the law, where the enforcement directorate isn't weaponized like a Rottweiler to become the election department of the ruling party and only focusing on opposition ruled states. I pray for an India, my friends, where the Election Commission of India fulfills its constitutional responsibility to ensure free and fair elections in the truest sense of the term, where the ECI acts as a neutral umpire and doesn't end up becoming a player, a part of the B team of one side, where nationwide exercises like the special intensive revision of electoral rolls are carried out in a transparent manner, where money power and institutional power don't end up completely distorting the very idea of a level playing field during elections. I pray for an India, my friends, which embraces every Indian from Kashmir to Kerala, where it cannot be that a Kashmiri student or a shawl seller is stereotyped as anti-national and made a soft target every time there is a terror attack in some corner of the country, where Kashmir and the Kashmir Valley is not treated just as another piece of land to be administered by the heavy hand of the state, but where winning hearts and minds by reaching out to ordinary people is given priority. I pray for an India where South versus North, Tamil versus Hindi linguistic divides are shunned, where our diversity is seen as our great strength and not as a weakness. I pray for an India which actually translates Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao from slogan to reality, where any sexual assault on a woman in any part of the country must lead to fast-track punishment of those involved, where crimes against women don't become another glaring instance of a broken criminal justice system, where the process is the punishment, where it cannot be that women who speak out against sexual harassment are denied agency and then trapped in victim-blaming narratives. I pray for an India which strives to reduce income inequalities, where the human dignity index must matter as much as the gross domestic product, where the poor can finally get access to quality health and schooling, where equal opportunity becomes the ultimate goal of every government, where it cannot be that the houses of the poor are bulldozed overnight, but while the illegal colonies of the rich and the influential are regularized routinely, where it cannot be that every major project is given to the favored few business cronies, while many hardworking entrepreneurs struggle with the ease of doing business, where becoming the third largest economy should be celebrated, but being ranked in the 130s in nominal GDP per capita should remain a cause of serious concern. I pray for an India in 2026 where no one dies of municipal water contamination. And if and when they do, no minister has the audacity to use crass words like ghanta when they are asked questions about the failure of the administration. I pray, my friends, for an India where lakhs of students aren't hostage anymore to paper leaks and exam manipulation, where exams are conducted in a meticulous manner without succumbing to criminal networks that facilitate cheating, where the process of admission to colleges, specialized courses is guided by merit and not by sifarish or someone's recommendation, where skill development and job opportunities go in tandem, where an aspirational young India is given every chance to move ahead. I pray for an India when na khaunga na khane dunga, I won't bribe or won't let anyone take a bribe, doesn't become just another hollow slogan, where the rent-seeking politicians and bureaucrats looking for a cut are replaced by those who make personal integrity their byword, where the assets of elected representatives and officials are monitored and opened up to public scrutiny, where the disproportionate assets of leaders are seized after due process and the monies are then spent on building homes for the poor. I pray for an India where science is valued more than superstition, where work matters more than lineage. Your surname doesn't matter. Where a person's worth is judged by their knowledge bank and not just by their bank balance. Where a film's success is not just measured by box office numbers, but by the creative energies and innovative ideas involved. Where sporting success isn't just about nurturing a superstar culture, but ensuring a playground in every corner of this country. I pray for an India where our courts dispense justice and not just allow adjournments. Where when cash is found at a high court judge's door, the country should be alarmed and not silenced. When judicial appointments are not based on political or ideological links, but on the track record of an individual at the bench. Oh yes, before one forgets, I pray for an India where the media remembers that its primary role is that of a watchdog and for God's sake not of a lapdog. Where asking inconvenient questions to those in power is part of our professional dharma or duty. Where an editor or reporter isn't going to be judged by how close they are to a particular minister, but how close they are to unraveling the dark truths that exist around us. Yes, my friends, into that heaven of freedom, as the great Rabindranath Tagore wanted, may India truly awake. Happy New Year, Happy News Year. Namaskar. Hope you enjoyed my prayer for a better India. I wish you good health and happiness in 2026. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaskar.